Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. We're jumping right in today because, well, I have a bit of a reality check for you. If you are still using AI inside a web browser, you are probably doing it the slow, frustrating way. I mean, you might think you're getting a lot done, right? But I'm here to tell you there is an entirely different level of productivity out there. The AI companies mostly market this stuff just to developers, but honestly, it's for absolutely everyone. Today, we're exploring a total paradigm shift. We're taking AI out of your browser and putting it directly onto your computer, unlocking what is basically a terminal superpower. But before we get to the fix, let me ask you a question that might hit just a little too close to home. Is your AI losing its memory? You know that exact feeling, right? You sit down for this deep research session, you're feeding the AI all these details, rules, background info, and then, by your fifth prompt, ChatGPT or Claude just completely forgets what you were actually talking about. The context is totally gone. You end up repeating yourself, you're getting super frustrated, and suddenly the AI feels less like a genius assistant and way more like a goldfish. And that leads us straight into what I like to call the browser AI nightmare. Because when you lose that context, what do you actually do? You start opening up brand new chat sessions. Suddenly, your project is scattered across like 20 different tabs. You've got ChatGPT open, maybe you've got Claude open on the side to fact-check ChatGPT, throw Gemini in there too. And since none of them can actually talk to each other, you are forced to manually copy and paste text back and forth into your personal notes apps just to keep things organized. It's a huge mess. Plus, you're dealing with forced vendor lock-in. Your entire project's brain is basically trapped inside one specific company's browser window. Okay, so here is the better way. Let's compare browser AI directly against terminal AI. Look, browser AI is isolated. It lives in this little silo on the internet, completely disconnected from your actual work files, and as we just talked about, it is notoriously forgetful. Terminal AI, on the other hand, runs in the command line interface, right there on your computer. And hey, I promise it is not as intimidating as it sounds. Operating inside the terminal is a literal 10x superpower because the AI actually lives right where your files live. It's a fundamental shift in how you interact with artificial intelligence. The absolute secret sauce that makes all of this work is something called a context file. Usually, this is just a really simple markdown file sitting right there on your hard drive. Think of it as a persistent memory bank for your AI. So instead of starting from scratch every single time you open a chat, the AI reads this local file, instantly analyzes your whole project folder, and picks up exactly where you left off yesterday. No more re-explaining the context over and over again. This one single file solves the absolute biggest headache in AI because it gives you total ownership of your project's memory. It is yours sitting right there on your own computer. Section 1. Getting started with Gemini's CLI. Look, I totally get it. The terminal can feel really intimidating if you're on a coder, but I want to show you the absolute easiest way to try this out today. It's incredibly accessible, it's totally free to start using right now with just a regular Google account, and honestly, it makes working in the terminal kind of fun. It's literally just 3 quick steps. First, you launch your terminal. Doesn't even matter if you're on a Mac, Windows, or Linux. Second, you run a super quick install command. Third, you literally just type the word Gemini and hit enter. Boom, you log in and you are immediately chatting with Google's latest Gemini 2.5 Pro model directly inside your terminal, totally utilizing their generous free tier. It really is that easy. And almost immediately, you're going to notice things that the browser never tells you. Take a look at this number, 99. When you use Terminal AI, it gives you absolute visibility. Right there at the bottom of your screen, it will actually show you that you have 99% of your context window remaining. When you're using AI in a web browser, that limit is completely hidden. You're always just sort of guessing when it's going to run out of memory and start forgetting things. But in the terminal, you have hard data. You always know exactly where you stand. But here is the really crucial point from the source material. It can access your computer. It can read and write files. Guys, this is where the actual magic happens. Because you finally broke the AI out of the browser, it can physically interact with your hard drive. You can tell it to research a topic and create a blog plan, and it will actually generate a new document and save it right in your folder. It can read your Obsidian vaults, analyze your personal notes, even run scripts. You aren't copying and pasting anymore. The AI is literally doing the clerical work for you. All right, moving on to Section 2, Claude Code and AI Agents. So Gemini is great for getting your feet wet, but let's shift gears and talk about what the power users rely on every single day. Let's talk about the absolute game changer that takes terminal AI from, a cool party trick to being completely overpowered. We need to define what an AI agent actually is. An AI agent is a specialized, autonomous subworker deployed by your main AI to handle a specific task in the background. Think about it like this. Your main Claude chat window is the manager. You ask it to do a massive research project. Instead of clogging up your main conversation and wasting all your context memory, Claude will spin up an entirely separate sub-worker, an agent, to go off and handle that heavy lifting in the background while you just keep chatting. I absolutely love this analogy from the source material. He's got a fresh pot of coffee, he's ready to go. Every single time you deploy a new agent, it wakes up totally energized and, most importantly, completely unbiased. It doesn't have the messy baggage of that long conversation you've been having for the last hour. It gets a crystal clear set of instructions, it reads the context file, and it just executes its one specific job perfectly. And picture how wild this actually gets. You can have multiple agents running simultaneously in just one terminal. You could have an agent called, say, Home Lab Guru actively researching network equipment for you. At the exact same time, you deploy a pizza researcher agent to scour the web for the best pizza in Dallas. Meanwhile, my absolute personal favorite, the brutal critic agent, is reading your project script and ruthlessly roasting your outline so you can make it better. They are all working for you side by side at the exact same time. It's basically like having your own dedicated digital staff. Now, why is this workflow so incredibly powerful? Well, it's because of this number right here, 200,000. When Claude delegates a task to a new subagent, that agent gets its own completely fresh 200,000 token context window. If you were doing all of this in a web browser, you'd blow through your usage limits in like an hour. But here, your main conversation stays lean and protected, while your agents get all the massive brain power they need to crunch data, read files, and surf the web. Which brings us to Section 3, the ultimate AI workflow. We've looked at Gemini, and we've looked at Claude. But what if you didn't have to choose between models? Imagine opening 3 different terminal windows in the exact same folder on your computer. You launch Claude in one, Gemini in the second, and Codex, which brings ChatGPT right into the terminal, in the third. Because they are in the exact same folder, they can all read the exact same local context files. So you can have Claude write one part of a project, have Gemini write an alternative version, and then have Codex analyze and critique both of them. They can literally see each other's work as it saves to your hard drive. No copying, no pasting, just flawless multi-AI collaboration. And hey, when you're totally exhausted at the end of the day, you can deploy a custom session closer agent workflow to wrap things up. You literally just tell the terminal, hey, I'm done, and the agent springs into action. Step 1, it gathers a summary of everything you worked on today. Step 2, it automatically updates and syncs all of your markdown context files so they are perfectly ready for tomorrow. Step 3, it commits your entire project to GitHub, documenting the exact changes you made. It acts just like a personal project manager, making sure you never lose your place. Section 4, going local with open code. Now, for the true power users out there who want absolute freedom and zero compromises on privacy, OpenCode is packed with superpowers. First off, right out of the gate, it gives you access to a free tier of Grok AI. But the real kicker is the second point. You can run totally private local models like Llama 3.2 directly on your own hardware. No data ever goes to the cloud, period. You can also seamlessly log in with your existing Claude Pro subscription, meaning you don't have to mess around with confusing pay-per-use API keys. And wildly, you can even generate a secure URL to share your live terminal session with a friend. You can literally swap between all these different models right in the middle of a project. It's crazy. So, here is the absolute crucial takeaway from all of this. You own your context. You own your project. Break out of the browser. When you use Terminal AI, you are completely rejecting vendor lock-in. Look, if a brand new, vastly superior AI comes out tomorrow, you don't lose any of your work. Your context, your rules, and your project history are all sitting right there safely on your local hard drive. You are in total control of your AI workflow. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought today. What will you build with your new Terminal superpower? The tools are completely free to start. The installation takes just a few seconds, so I challenge you. Do not let the command line intimidate you. Open up your terminal today, break your AI out of the browser, and start building. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.